Joining me this evening we have Kieran Maguire from Manchester Metropolitan University to discuss all today's business news. Good evening, Kieran.
Hi, Richard.
Inflation, it's at a 5-year all-time low, I understand, today at 1.1%. What does that mean for us all in the business world?
Well, in the business world, I think it's going to be problematic to increase your prices to consumers. I think everybody's very, very price sensitive. It's quite a big drop from last month when it was 1.6%, and the main reason for that is energy prices are down, food prices are down, and I think if you are in business, you're also under a lot of pressure from the internet as well, which is causing problems for the retailer.
Absolutely, and I noticed today that we've seen a marked increase in people using the internet, and a lot of the big web-based retail sites are coming under pressure from social media networking of all things. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, what's happening is that people who are buying from the internet, if they don't have a good experience, they don't complain to the company all the time because they're not tending to get a very good response. They're going on to places like Facebook and they're creating a nuisance, they're creating waves. And companies that don't respond to their customers are losing out because it's a very, very competitive industry at present.
And does that have a massive impact upon the retailers? Because, of course, you get the viral advertising coming in from the big companies which seem to swamp the internet. Does that have the same impact when somebody's going onto one of these sites such as Facebook, actually criticising the service?
I think so. I think especially if you're looking at sort of the Facebook generation, the 18 to 25-year-olds, who still have a bit of disposable income. They've not got mortgages. They're not really tied down. They've got a little bit more money to spend. And they watch to see what their friends are doing. And if they get a good, positive experience, if they get a good, if they're saying good things about retailers, everybody's piling in. Similarly, it's very, very quick, it's very, very easy to lose your reputation.
Excellent. I mean, talking of disposable income, just thinking about that today, I noticed that we're still in a lot of trouble with our pensions. Should I be shifting some of my disposable income into a pension and taking care of myself?
Well, it's sort of yes and no. There's some pressure on the government now to cut back on tax relief. Currently, if you're a higher rate earner, you get 40% tax relief every pound you put into your pension. Some people are saying they ought to get rid of that because it's sort of benefiting the rich more than the poor. So in terms of pensions, it's always a bit of a gamble.
Is it a rule of thumb for the amount of money you should be putting away each month into your pension to ensure that you get a reasonable benefit at the end?
Well, it really depends on the type of pension you're in. There's two types of pension. There's sort of a money purchase scheme whereby every pound you put into it, it's put into a giant pot for you, and when you come to 65 or now 66, they're going to break open the pot. Now, you're reliant on the skills of the pension fund manager.
Do you think the government are going to try and push the boundaries even further from this 65 to 66 and maybe even take it up to 17 years to come to protect themselves from this ever-increasing burden? Because obviously the population is much older than it was. Is that likely?
Absolutely. It's just nobody's prepared to bite the bullet. I mean, both the Tories and the Labour Party now, they've said we're pushing it up to 66. Life expectancy compared to 30 or 4 years ago is far, far higher. The country cannot afford to pay people's pensions when they retire.
Now, just talking about what the country can and cannot afford, we noticed today that the unions down at the post office again have put more pressure onto the management there because of things like pensions, and we see more and more things like this happening. How popular is that with the business world at the moment?
Well, I think any company that's got a pension scheme is going to have to resist any pressures coming from employees. The Royal Mail scheme has got a £3 billion deficit. If you look at the number of people using the postal service, it's down about 15% over the last 5 years. So I think Royal Mail are going to be very, very resistant on this particular issue.
Splendid. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Kieran. That's everything from the business team. Thank you very much.